the baby's about to drop. There's something about to be birthed through the waterway. And this transmission that's coming in, a little portal report that was inspired by the work of Pharoah Sanders. I've been taking Pharoah Sanders for a walk. First, it began with harvest time. And I've really been noticing the way that when you bring in music, the inspiration of that artist starts to color the landscape around you, and it puts you in a particular flow of synchronicity. And I've been having a really phenomenal experience with this. It's something that has opened my mind to a whole new way of grokking the messages and working with the music and the artistry merged with the creative inspiration of the elementals around me is, in a way, it's an avenue of sorts. It is a waterway, because when we look at creativity, that's something that comes from the elemental water, and it connects us with our emotions. And when we connect with our emotions, when we enter that flow, we're able to manifest. And this is a critical piece that's often missed when you look at alchemy and the stages of transformation, is the way that you can take the action, you can have the intention, you can have the inspiration, you can bring in the ether, the air, the fire, but eventually you need the water in order to hit the point of alchemy where you can truly nurture the seed that wants to grow. And I feel like you're in that place. You've nurtured the seed. It's ready to grow. It's ready to come on through the waterway. It's ready to be born through the sea. It's the stage in the hunt where soon we are tossed in that sea like Gwian, and we go through a radical transformation. And what comes through the other side is the wizard archetype. It is the Merlin archetype. It is the Odin archetype. It is the unknowable being embodied. There's no way to articulate this experience, much as there's no way to really articulate the music of Pharoah Sanders. Is something that just has to be dropped. It has to be felt. It has to be moved into motion in order to really grok the inspiration that comes through his music. You do have to merge with it and just kind of let it take you for a ride, give yourself over to the experience. So it's been pretty wild, because there's been so many synchronicities coming through for me as I entered that stream of consciousness that inspired Pharoah Sanders when he created Harvest Time. And it's wild because then it led me to a new inspiration. It led me to Promises, which was the final album he ever recorded, with floating points. Isn't that interesting? Floating points, the waterway, floating points, and the London Symphony. And it includes a lot of strings. But before this album came in, I started seeing this imagery of the spider hanging from a thread descending down. That's how it first came in. And then I started seeing more spider webs, and then I started seeing this imagery of a leaf hanging from a tree, like from a spider web. And I'm like, there's got to be a connection point here between Pharoah Sanders and spider webs or spiders or something. So I had to go down a rabbit hole, and I started researching it, and I learned that the album Promises, a lot of people have called the album Promises a spider web of sorts, a web of sorts. That's how they referred to it, just sort of the energy signature of the album. This is something that's known because of the way that the music sort of weaves together, and the way that it forms all these sort of connecting points. And I just thought that that was so fascinating. And how beautiful the imagery and the way it fused those two together, the harvest time with the symbolism of the leaf falling from the tree, with this web this web of connectivity, this web of creation, also the cycles of creation, birth, life, death, and rebirth. And I say this because this album that Pharoah Sanders created, it was his last album, and the 24th of September is the anniversary of his passing. And so I feel really inspired to bring this on through, just the creativity. Oh, look, this wanted to slip out of the deck. Oh, yes. Here we go again. The waterway carries us into some weird-ass mystical shit. Where we're going, it's the top of a mountain we've never been to before. It is a mountain that reaches all the way into the sky, the Dakini realm coming through here. Interesting how that wanted to show up. What do we got on the other side here? 3339. Yes, it is weird ass mystical shit indeed. This is the path of the wizard. This is the point when we do come into the Merlin archetype. This is where we're heading up to the full moon that will come in Aries, that hunter's moon on the 6th. We're on the way there. We're going to be moving out of the crossroads, and this is a decisive point of alchemy. It's a decisive point of transformation. It's a brand new vision, and we are locked on our destination. We are locked on that north node. I just looked at the dice that I got here hanging out to the side of me. I was also guided through tapping in with Pharoah Sanders to bring in the dice. So I don't know if he was into dice. I don't know if he liked to play dice. I'll have to do some research around that. But very strongly I was guided not only to pick up this deck because of the saxophone fetus, which I've really started to recognize as the way that jazz music has inspired me to really come into harmony with different downloads. And just as I say that, yes, we have the messengers, we have the pigeons flying south there. Yeah, it's an airway, it's a sound wave, it's a way to tap into that kind of open-minded thinking, that free flow thinking, where notes that aren't supposed to go together actually can come together quite cohesively into a web of connectivity. I got the dice here, and facing up we got the number 8, strength, dualism, coming in with the imagery of strength too. It is Libra season. In some decks, Libra is represented by the number 8. Also, we got the energy of Leo coming in here. Half-priced hot wings came out, okay? Half-priced hot wings. Tell us about these half-priced hot wings. We're really going to do a wild card read here. We got 7 coming in with 5 here, okay? 12 half-priced hot wings. Oh, I get it. So we're closing cycle on the half-priced hot wings. You know those half-priced hot wings, usually they've been sitting in the convenience case all day, and by the time you get them, they're all dried out. They're not the kind of hot wing that's all juicy and drenched in that sauce that you really want to sink your teeth into. Dip in a little bit of that ranch. It's when something's been sitting there kind of baking for too long, baking in the oven for too long, a bun in the oven for too long. That, yes, it's you know, it's about to completely go up in flames here with the former child star. It was meant to be something, that dream you had, that vision you had, but you let it just sort of bake in the oven for too long. Now you gotta find the secret sauce here, I see. If you find the secret sauce, you can turn it into the stuff of the Empress. But right now, it's kind of just hanging out. It's hanging out. The hangman, I started to have a new perspective of the hangman as well. The hangman's about to drop. The hangman is held in a state of suspended animation because the musing inspiration needs to come in. The creative energy needs to come in that gives the hangman the fortitude and the tenacity and a bit of the moxie, one could say, to release themselves from the tree. And there comes 2 more messenger birds flying to the south. Yes, the moment of transformation is soon. The hangman is about to go through the portal of transformation, cast into that sea by Caradwin, so to speak, to be washed up on the shore anew, holding a new kind of wisdom. It is that wizard frequency. It is the crone frequency. We have maiden mother crone. We have lad father wizard, all right? So this is also the conjuncto point where there is the unification between the masculine, the feminine. It's high priestess to magician. It's empress to emperor. This is the inception point. It's coming in. It's building to a crescendo. A montage moment. Only a moment in time, though. There will be more to come. We are diving down into the deepest well of Danu. There's a lot more of the mystery to see. It also requires letting something go. It requires some kind of sacrifice. It requires no longer being content with half-priced hot wings. Ooh. Okay. I dig it, man. I dig it. I'm looking over to the side here. I'm not going to show you now, but I'll catch a shot of it before I leave here to share with you all. There are golden leaves hanging, suspended in a freaking spider web. I'm telling you, man. The connectivity is wild. You gotta take that music for a walk. I got it posted on the community. Check it out, man. You'll be surprised what comes through. It really is this beautiful fusion. If you think about that, these great works of music, they are divinely inspired. So when you tap into that and you take it out into the elementals, then you really get to feel the truth of that. The truth of that, all right? So yes, the hangman's about to drop. The saxophone fetus is sounding the call. The horns are a-blowing, but not in the way you expect. This ain't no walls of Jericho. It's something quite different. Woo! When it gets us moving fast, it's the birth of a new sound, and you got to improvise your way as you move forward. You can't rely on the boxes, man. The boxes are being broken down. The reality tunnel is wide open. It's like a portal of transformation at this time, and all of us will get sucked into its magnetic pull. Yes, we can't resist the sweetness of the bloom. We're going through a transformation, and just like the rat, we want to be the first to greet the Buddha, the one I consciousness, the I am consciousness, and oh, the forces of darkness they oppose. They don't want this freedom. They don't want us to deliver the message that you already got the crown. Just keep going where you're going. Don't turn around now. Yeah, I like it. You got me wide open, and I'm digging it. So baby, keep it coming. Yes, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Don't stop now. That's the secret sauce, man. We want more sauce. We want fresh, hot wings, juicy. We want that crunch on the outside that can only come when you've been through the fire, man. Don't give us no soggy, half-price hot wings that are all crusty inside from being under the heat too long. Yeah, don't be tempted by the parasitic fruit. Don't be tempted by the instant gratification. It blocks up the true creativity that wants to come through. And if you could only see what's on the other side of what may feel like birthing pains, you would never bite into that apple. Let me tell you. You need to unmask yourself. It's like feeding yourself with something that it used to hit the spot, but now you recognize that It's just a greedy energy. It takes and takes and takes and takes from you. See, there's a little bit of magic you can gain here on this quest. There's something that you can put in your pouch to carry forward with you. Good medicine for the journey ahead. Good medicine for the road ahead. It came in with 1504. 19, the sun. You got to get to Ragnarok, man, but you're making it on foot. And first you got to go up a mountain before you even find your chariot. We're not at that link up point yet. And it's quite a trek, so you got to be ready for the ride. You're going to need this magic. You got to cheat death here. The best way to cheat death is by playing death. Role-playing death, I'm telling you. This energy, try it on for size. You know? It's sort of like jack-o'-lanterns, just like the lantern that the hermit carries. Jack-o'-lanterns were set up as light to ward from evil spirits, things that go bump in the night on All Hallows Eve. You know? But it's playful. You see the jack-o'-lanterns with their toothy grins, right? It's giving you a little hint about the way to face this death. That's how you cheat death. You don't banish these influences by getting all heavy, man. You banish these influences by getting light. You banish these influences by laughing, by being joyous, by dancing on the flames of destruction like it's a sacred pyre. That is how you transform through the fire, man. It is. That's how you transform through the fire. It's only a sacrifice if you're in a box. See, if you're in the flow, you just let it all go. You let it all go, and then you get to see what's on the other side. You get to see what's on the other side once the smoke clears. I love this energy. It was 17:08 on the clock, double eights, 16. 16, it's going to take a bolt out of the blue. It's going to take a thunderbolt, striking down, touching ground. It brings a tower of power. It brings a tower of power. There might need to be Lokian tactics in order to retrieve the hammer of Thor that was stolen by the once powerful giants. But with a little bit of wily guile, it can be done, and a tower of power can be brought down, Skywalkers. A tower of power that brings about an awakening that makes the earth rumble, even as the skies rumble with laughter. Ooh, yeah, I dig it, man. But see, it leads to the chariot. It's the moment of cracking open. Spontaneous inspiration comes through as a moment of satori. You do have to lose your mind to find the way through. Don't resist it. Don't resist it. Going crazy is when you go further into the mind, okay? Going beyond, reaching the I am consciousness is when you lose your mind. It's when you break down the boxes, so don't resist it, man. Don't resist it. You're going to knock this out of the park. You're going to knock this out of the park just like Bruce Lee did when facing off with his own reflection and the perception of where the nemesis was hiding. Ooh, yes. Enter the dragon. Yes, yes, yes. Enter the dragon. Chaos Mom. It's time to give birth to that creation. It's time to give birth to it. It's time to move into that flow of creation. The maiden energy was born back on the 15th and the 16th when the moon was in its dark phase, heading on toward the sign of Virgo for the new moon eclipse. I'll be bringing in more on that. It's not time for it just yet, but I will be bringing in more on that. This is that energy ripening. It has to ripen to the stage of the crown. You can see it as the lad too, okay? For the men here who are tuning in. The lad was born, right? Gwian was born. Let's look at it that way. Oh, I like it. Okay. Gwian was born. So the hunt is beginning, all right? That's the energy we moved into, the initiation into the hunt. That's what came in with the new moon eclipse. The eclipse came in and it eclipsed the cycle of the lad, and it started to move us into the cycle of the mother or the father ready to give birth to this creative act, this significant juncture when something new comes into the quest that is a plot twist that leads to the true north. You know, we have to remember that, yes, see, here we go. Here's the secret sauce. Here's the gravy funnel. Here's the dawn that wants to come in. But it's interesting because the dawn comes in through the doorway of death. It comes in through the high priestess or the crone. It comes in through the sage or the wizard, you see. It's born from something new. It's born from the energy of the maiden or the lad or Gwian, you could see it as. But it has to go through a maturation point. So with the hunter's moon, the mother, the father is fertile. This is not an impotent energy. This is an energy that's teeming. But the dawn, the rebirth, comes through the crown, comes through the high priestess, comes through the magician. We're not there yet. We will be, though. We will be, though. We'll be at that time when we reach Halloween. You see, that's when there will be a clear understanding of how to get to Ragnarok, how to hit the mark. That is the point. When the hangman finally sees the illumination comes and is dropped through their own action, through their own transformation, through arriving at a particular truth, it also involves some kind of sacrifice. It always does, to access the wisdom. But this is how one earns that Stargate. There's steps to receive the 4 jewels, the 4 treasures of the Tuatha De Danann. 22:42 on the clock. 4, 6, 10. Wheel of Fortune, the wheel turns. The wheel turns anew on the 31st of October. Known as Samhain, also known as Halloween. There's gifts that come through cutting oneself down with appropriate action. There's wisdom that's been grokked here. It's the same imagery as Odin hanging from the Yggdrasil tree. He hung there for a while. He speared himself in his side, and then he liberated himself, freed himself when he gained access to the secret knowledge, the numinous mystery. Only then does one know the way through the Stargate. It will be found. This is cool energy, man. I dig it. I dig it. But there's transformation here. And that transformation comes in with the Libra new moon that is cusp the start of Scorpio season. All right? It's a significant juncture that we're moving up to here. Let me see if there's any other details that want to come in around this. I know I'm probably cutting off my head, but I'm not focused on my image here. I'm focused on delivering the message. And maybe that's a clue. You gotta, you gotta cut off your head a little bit. You gotta be like the headless goddess laughing. That's the energy. Yes, that's the energy. Look at this here. We got the sword hoarder. you got to gather all these truths first. There's many different truths. There's many different illusions that need to be seen through. There's many different ways one has to cut themselves down from the tree. But I do see the ability to stake one's claim, and it's all based on the truth that you stand on when you get to the top of that mountain, coming in very strongly with that hunter's moon that is in Aries, okay? And once you arrive at these truths, and once you have done all the cuts that need to be made to free yourself from the web of deceit that's been woven around you, or the things you tapped into, the things you took on, once you stake your claim, no one will move you from that spot. But first, it's like going through the fire. And you may think initially like, I'm so effing effed, but you'll understand when you get to the other side of it that no, that's so necessary, because I was forged in the fire. There's no other way through. It's going to steal your heart, man. It stings, but it will steal your heart. It will light your heart on fire in the best way. It will be a thief of your heart. And that is the price of admission, I have to say. In any tradition, just as we look at those scales of Ma'at, cosmic law and order, very Libran energy, the heart must be lighter than the feather. And that can only be tested through really going through the fire. There's no other way. There's no easy ride. No one rides for free, man. And the cardinal energies will always remind you of that there is a price for admission. There's a price for admission into this weird ass mystical shit. 26:55 on the clock. That's right. 8, 10, 9. That is the lesson of the hermit. That is the lesson of the wizard. That is the lesson of the magician, of the high priestess, of the sorcerer. There is a price for admission. Something must be sacrificed, and it's your comfort, and you also got to give your whole heart over to it, which means you can't have defenses. You got to soften. You can't sit here thinking that everybody is out there attacking you, or that they even have the power to take you down, so you get all warped and you get all freaked out and you move into fear and you pollute the love, and then you bog down the waterway, you get dams in the river. You can't bring it through, man. You can't bring it through, because the truth is, once you reach the I am consciousness, there is no other. There is no other. So you have to acknowledge, well, if there is no other, the only way I'm so effing effed is if in some way I'm harmonizing with that energy and I'm taking it on. And no one wants to ever look at that, because it's so much easier to point the finger. Oh, it's their fault. They're doing workings on me. They're doing root work on me. You know, you can get the most so-called self-professed powerful person laying roots on you, and it won't do jack. It won't do jack squat, man. If you are tapped into the true power of love, if you are truly an open vessel, if you have already seen into the mystery and had the numinous higher intelligence pour through you, if your Atman is activated, if you are guided through your life by the avatar, it can't touch you. It can't. It can't. It can't. And until you see it, you can't drop. The birth can't come through. The birth of a new sound, it can't come through. Not until the path itself has clutched your heart and ripped it from your chest and says, you have no power here. You shall not ask until your heart is lighter than the feather. Will the message truly come in that you've had the power all along. Is there all along. You see that in the traditional hangman card, right? The light's there. It's been there. It's always there. Ragnarok is always there. You're going to have to dig deep before you discover it with the digging ghost. It's like you're haunted by something that is just a figment of your imagination. It's a phantasm. It's something that you mocked up yourself out of your own fear, your own projections, your own trauma. You can breathe life into these qualities if you're not steadily purifying yourself of your intentions. I'm not talking about what you think other people are doing to you, what you are doing, where you're at, what you're projecting, what you're feeling. Until you have purified yourself, you won't see it. But once you do, there's where all the treasure is, man. You got to get down to the roots of you, the ground of your being, and then the awakening will come on through. 30:55 on the clock. 13:4. Here comes the Emperor stepping into true power. True power. Remember, the true power at this time is coming through softness, yielding. Oh, just let it be an infinite cosmic mess. You're not there yet, do you see? Here's all the timelines converging. We can skip ahead to the high priestess, to the magician. We can. It can all go down in this moment. Do you see? Look at the sperm there. It's ready. The birth is already protected. The love is already there. It's protected. The spiral of creation wants to come in. The diamond in the rough is there. The clarity that will make one like an impenetrable diamond. This is the pathway of the maiden, the lad, Gwen, the mother, the father, or the empress, the emperor, the high priestess, the magician, or the crone, wizard, all colliding. And it feels like a mess, just like when you're in that chrysalis state and what you once were. The caterpillar dissolves in that mutable state, not knowing quite what's going to come through. But if you give it time, you'll see you sprout wings and the heart ascends. And then you truly embrace that I am consciousness. You see with your heart, and you'll recognize that what you feared, that death, entering through 13, the start of the third decanate of Libra that leads up to that new moon on the cusp of Scorpio, you'll see that it truly is fine. That what first appeared destructive is actually something rooted, just like that Yggdrasil tree. You'll see it clearly when you rise above it. It'll blow your mind. Cut the deck energy. Ah, yes, you will see. You will see. No longer a pawn anymore. You got the secret sauce. And you're ready with the uterus with feet. I like it. Good energy here. Happy rebirthday. It's going to come through. It's going to come through with that Libra new moon. And then just like Jim Morrison, you'll break on through to the other side. I'll see you there.